Which Steam Batsugun port is better? Bitwave's Batsugun port or City Connection's Saturn Tribute Boosted? The Bitwave port has less input lag of 3.8 frames, while the City Connection port has input lag of 6 frames. If less input lag means a lot to you, then the Bitwave port is the way to go. And it's much cheaper. This is my first exposure to using a Bitwave ported game on Steam, so a lot of the menus and settings are new to me. Both games have a fair amount of video options. Both have screen rotation options, screen scaling, and more. The big difference that I like is that you can have a Tate window in the Bitwave version, have it open on a monitor that is vertical or portrait, and then completely full screen it. You can't do that on the Saturn Tribute Boosted version. You'll need to have your monitor already horizontal or landscape and physically rotated 90 degrees. Another difference I noticed is that the screen filter options are more abundant and flexible with their settings on the Bitwave port. Both ports have overlays and backdrops. I have to give the nod to the Saturn Tribute Boosted port in this area. They're way more and they look way better than what the Bitwave port has. The stats overlays look better too. They look horrible in the Bitwave port. The Bitwave port has a hitbox viewer that looks like ass. Yeah, I want this spread shot. But I don't think I can make the rate too low. What the fuck? What the fuck is this shit? What the hell? And they're all yellow. There is a practice mode, but it's buggy. In the City Connection port, there is a stage and round select that isn't buggy. I think the Saturn Tribute Boosted port has an easier configuration screen. The Bitwave port is good, and you can even set multiple actions on one button if you want for whatever reason. I wish there was a button for quick save and quick load. You gotta use your keyboard for that. The save and load states are easier to use in the City Connection port because it shows a screenshot of where you saved at. In the Bitwave port, you have slots assigned to your keyboard and numbers that are on the option screen for that. You load them by pressing Shift, F1 through F12. Both games have a rewind feature. The City Connection port rewind has a gallery of save points, while the Bitwave port is more like rewinding a VCR cassette. Let's see how rewind works. What I was saying, it seems you can manually record your gameplay in the Bitwave version, and you can't do so in the City Connection port. Both ports have online leaderboards. For some reason, it still doesn't work well on my end for the City Connection port. But if it's working well for y'all, I trust that it's probably something on my end. The City Connection port has options to change the music to arrange and remix versions. You can even customize per stage. The Bitwave port doesn't have that. Overall, the Bitwave port, less input lag, bad presentation, more buggy, but it's cheaper. The City Connection port, more laggy, better presentation, less buggy, more expensive. Would I recommend the Bitwave port over the City Connection port? Yes, if you want a very low input delay experience playing Batsugun and want to save a few bucks. But for presentation, the City Connection port is way better. Now, if you're playing on MAME, you won't be missing much, if anything, by getting the Bitwave port unless you really care about online leaderboards. Hopefully, Bitwave will fix some of the bugs that are currently present in the game. Question for you, would you recommend the Bitwave port over the City Connection port? Let me know in the comments.